So we are here looking at the beautiful museum. All right. Who's this beautiful lady?
She wore this dress.
Oh, wow.
It's crochet.
Crochet dress, yeah.
But her aunt, who was a nun in the convent here, crocheted for her back in 1974.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is Dolores here. Who are you, Dolores?
I'm good. Good morning.
You good with me? Yeah.
Thank you for this, Ellie.
Yeah. So we're just doing a little tour of the place now before we start our conversation. It's amazing. I didn't expect this. It's really good. These are leather, right? It's antique. What's the story behind these bags?
There was a leather factory in the town
Okay.
in the 1950s, and these are some samples of the leather bags that were produced there
Okay.
that were donated to the museum. So the museum is predominantly Mountmellick embroidery,
Okay.
which is unique to Mountmellick.
Okay.
And it's unique in that it's entirely Irish in origin and design. So originated here back in the early 1800s.
Oh, okay.
So that's predominantly what's in the museum.
Okay.
So we also have some local artifacts that have been donated over the years.
All right.
And we have this trunk.
Okay.
There was a workhouse in the town. This trunk was donated from the open prison in Wicklow. They came up with the idea of doing a commemorative trunk that was given to each of the girls that were sent to Australia under the Earl Grey scheme.
Yeah.
At the time, there was a shortage of women in Australia.
Okay.
Workhouses here after the famine were overcrowded. So Earl Grey of Tiefin,
Yeah.
the family,
Yeah.
came up with the idea of bringing the girls from the workhouses here out to Australia. So 69 girls from our workhouse, Crossleash, went to Australia
To Australia.
back in the late
Oh, wow.
1850s.
Yeah.
So we have some bonnets here as well. There's a lady in Australia who is an artist in residence in Hobart, came up with the idea of doing a bonnet to represent every girl who went out to Australia. So there was actually 5 girls from Mountmellick. So we did 5 bonnets, and their name is embroidered on it, the ship they sailed on and the year they went.
Oh, it never came back, yeah?
They never came back. So this photograph that you looked here
Yeah.
is on this.
Yeah.
That is one of the girls that we had done research and found out what had happened to her family. And some years later, she settled there, married, and had children. And her descendants happened to be in Mountmellick a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We showed them this, and she said, "That's my great granny."
Oh, wow.
So she came back and launched it for us the following year and filled in the other details about her. So her name was Mary Miller. And we have a little hologram that we have here that tells the story
Of her.
Mary Miller
Yeah.
from when she left Mountmellick to her demise. These are the dynamic women that were involved in Mountmellick embroidery. Joanna Carter is credited with starting the embroidery.
Okay.
She just used what was being produced locally, which was heavy schools,
Okay.
and taught the embroidery out there.
Okay.
Angelica was another famous Mountmellick lady that was born just across the road from here. Her father was a school teacher. She was born Anne Mullen and married Jellicoe and moved over to Clara in Offaly and opened schools over there to teach the local ladies how to do embroidery and
Okay.
to earn an income from it. And then she left there and went to Dublin and founded the Alexandra College in Dublin, which is
Oh, wow.
going today.
Okay.
So she was another famous Mountmellick lady.
Okay.
Deborah Milner revived the embroidery back in the late 1800s, and up until the First World War it was very there was a strong industry here making embroidery for sale. After the war then it went into decline again, and Sister Teresa Margaret McCarthy started it up again back in the late 60s, early 70s when she finished teaching in the local school.
Yeah.
So she taught me.
Oh, she taught you. All right. Okay. So I gather this is the youngest of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was her who campaigned to get a museum opened here. When the Development Association bought this building,
Yeah.
she met with them on numerous occasions in order to get a museum. So this is the second home of the museum. It was originally in a building downstairs, and back in 2016 it was moved up to this floor.
That is amazing. You know,
This was a piece of her work that's here.
All right. This is beautiful though. I was not expecting this, actually, I have to say. It is actually absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad you say people are aware of it, because it's embarrassing to say that I wasn't aware of it. I know there was a museum, but
I suppose it's like everything. What's on your doorstep,
you always go far. Yeah.
Move away.
This is a beautiful outfit, eh?
Yes.
And the little
That
lady.
is the little girl who wore it.
This is like old. This is an antique, isn't it? I can see from the pictures she was in.
And we got funding from the Heritage Council last year to restore it, so that's why it looks so pristine.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Heritage is one of the most important things in life, to be honest. It is side.
And this is a living craft, so it's not a museum of old, it's a museum of old and new work.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was typical items that it was used for. That lady embroidered this.
She did that, okay.
These are sideboard cloths. These are pillow shams, which would have been put on the bed and taken off at night time. Here's another sideboard cloth that came from the Jacobs family. You know Jacobs biscuits?
The biscuit, okay.
They're a Quaker family, and the Jacobs and the Pims, which are our local Quaker family.
Yeah.
So that came from their collection. These are night dress cases here. So they would have been very popular, and the children in school would have made these as practice pieces. So what's nice about it is you can see there's Passion of Lilies there.
Yeah.
If you look on each of the corners and on the matching pillow sham, it's the same design but all worked with different stitches. So that's what's unique about it as well. It's a freestyle embroidery. So you can use whatever stitch you like.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it. That's predominantly why I get a piece of cloth, draw out my design,
Yeah.
and it's up to me to decide.
To
what
decide.
I want it to look when
Oh,
it's
okay.
finished.
Well, okay.
So no two pieces look the same.
Same.
For that reason.
Yeah.
Because a stitch I made, someone else might like.
yeah.
You know, where I want to apply it, they would put it in a different place. So
okay.
that makes every piece unique. Might be the same pattern, but it's a unique design when it's finished.
Okay. Wow. This is open. How often is it open?
This is open office hours Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday.
By
So,
appointment at the weekends.
okay. So people can just walk in.
Yes.
Okay. And do you get a lot of visitors? How do we make people come more? Or do you get a lot of visitors?
Embroidery groups would know about is a needlework groups.
Okay.
Gardening groups, because if you do gardening, you're more likely during the winter you do a craft.
Okay.
So a lot of craft groups. We get a lot of overseas needlework groups
Okay.
that would be visiting Ireland, that would come here, would do workshop, because if you're a craft person, you're always looking for something different.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
we would get a lot of visitors from America, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, mainland Europe.
Okay.
South Africa, it's quite popular there as well. So
Okay.
that's travelled all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we would just get people, general tourists coming in.
And coming. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. And tell me a little bit about this.
This is a bedspread.
Yeah.
There's a whole series of these bedspreads. This was donated recently by the Goodbody family. The centre, this was given as a wedding present. So there's a centre spray, if you can see that, an urn filled with flowers,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
surrounded by shamrocks, marsh marigolds, and then there's oak and fern leaves, and then it's squared off with sprays of vines, and then you can see maple leaves all around
Yeah.
the edge.
That is very artistic.
These were commissioned work that would have been.
Yeah. And how long would it take to do something like this?
I've no idea, because we look at it. If you look at that piece, the thread that they used was quite thick.
Yeah.
The design, they've used repetition of stitches, which would have made it a little bit faster to work.
Okay.
But this piece up here, you look at this,
Yeah.
much finer thread, much more detailed, more compacted flowers and designs. The chances are this one probably took as long as this one. So that gives you your uniqueness as well. This centerpiece dress here in this cabinet, the Council of Irish Fashion Designers came up with the idea of doing a collaboration between fashion designers and craftspeople to kind of support the craft industry. So I was matched with this lady. Her name is Caroline Mitchell. She's a knitwear designer from Limerick.
Okay.
And this was the design that we came up for that year's collaboration. So she crocheted, which would be the top collar. She crocheted that to look like blackberries, which we use in the embroidery. I embroidered all the little oval centerpieces. She did this knitting to represent the knitted fringing that we use on the embroidery.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful dress.
It is actually. And how long did it take you to cast to finish?
We worked on it over 3 or 4 months.
So that's a masterpiece. Imagine having
That
to
is a
replicate that.
one-off unique.
I was just going to say replicate that. But someone can actually want you to do more of it, isn't
Yes,
it?
the museum is a mixture of old and new. This is a recent
Fancy
donation.
church?
Yeah.
Church outfit kind of, you know?
This was donated recently.
Okay.
It's a suit. So there's a waistcoat, the jacket, and the skirt. This lady was a tutor with the ICA. So
Yeah.
she would have done some of the workshops on Grey Lawn with them. And she visited last year and came back and donated this piece to the museum.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
we will be having an official event to
launch that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And now tell me something. If do you have classes here? What happened with the classes? Do you have set time in the year where you have classes? What happens if someone is interested and can just?
I run a class here from September right through until the end of March.
In the end of March. Okay.
Every Tuesday
Okay.
morning from 10 until 12 and Tuesday evening from 7:30 to 9:30.
Do people have to sign it exactly in September? If someone comes in February, they can come anytime. Okay, that's brilliant.
Anytime. And
Yeah.
I call it a self-directed class, so whatever people want to do, I'll teach them.
You teach them.
So you can come at any time. So if people just contact me, let me know they're going to come.
Okay.
I'll be prepared for them. The only thing is I can never guarantee how many I'm going to have at the class.
Yeah, that's true.
Because people don't register, they just turn up on the night.
Oh,
And
okay.
a lot of my stitchers know how to stitch, but they're coming for the company and the chat and to look at what other people are doing.
Yes.
It's more of a meeting than a...
Yeah.
And they will always help. So you look at what other people are doing and get your ideas from them.
Yeah, that's
They're always there to help someone new starting. So it's
Yeah.
nice to see someone new.
yeah. And do you have a younger generation people, young people, or?
It's a mix for
A
young
mix.
people. What I do is myself and a group of the stitchers go in on a voluntary basis into the local primary school.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So in 6th class in the primary school, they would be making a confirmation. So they embroider a piece, their name that they're taking for the confirmation. So we go in, we teach them 3 stitches over a 6-week period and they embroider a piece for the confirmation. So they get back a completed piece
A complete, yeah.
they can keep. Because the incentive is when it's for the confirmation, don't want to finish.
Yes.
And like some of the other schools, then I would go in and do it, and they would make cards for Mother's Day or something like that. I always try to have some incentive that they have to finish,
Yeah.
they have to complete the piece. So Mother's Day, confirmation, some other event like that.
Yeah, so that it doesn't become like an isolated issue. So you have a purpose at the end, isn't it? I think this is what is exciting.
Motivation
Yeah.
for them. And
Yeah.
what the hope is then, our local secondary school here, if the children are doing home economics, they have incorporated into their home economics
Okay.
junior cert program that they would do a piece of mathematic embroidery
Oh, okay.
for that. So
Okay.
if they do it in 6th class or in primary school, they've had a head start and they're going to secondary school.
Okay.
So it's even that they're able to hold a needle. We're happy that they're able to hold a needle properly, comfortable holding fabric.
Okay.
And what we tell them is, it's like when you start school and you start to learn how to write first.
Yes.
It feels uncomfortable. And as time goes on, if you compare your letters in junior infants to when you're up in 3rd or 4th class,
Yes.
there's a huge improvement. So
Improvement, yeah, that's
people
true.
will remember what you teach them. So they will remember. I have stitchers coming into my class and say, I've never done embroidery, I've never done stitching. And then when they start to sew, you can tell. I say, but you have, well, I did a little bit in school, but that was so long ago I thought it didn't count. But it does, your mind remembers.
Your mind, remember, yeah.
You'll remember that you know how to hold the needle, you know how to hold the fabric.
Yeah.
These are some samplers, what they're called.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you see alphabet letters there.
Yes.
This
So
is beautiful.
these were back in the early days, these were considered your curriculum vitae.
Okay.
So if you were a well-to-do lady and you were looking for a husband, he would say you were able to read, write, your needlework was good. You knew your geography, if you
No way.
so you would be a possibly good wife. Or if you were someone looking for employment in a household to work, you would be able to say, look at my needlework skills, I will be very good, I can read and I can write.
No way! This is amazing.
And my attention to detail is good.
You definitely have to have attention to detail
Yes.
for this. Look
So
at
I
that.
spoke to you earlier about Margaret Beale, whose husband had emigrated, who had a lot of businesses in Mountmellick, who emigrated to Australia. She brought these 2 pieces of embroidery to Australia. Her aunt, Hannah Davis, had been a student in the school in Mountmellick
Yeah.
and had made them and had gifted them to her going out to Australia in 1850.
Wow.
The family found them recently, and the map of Europe that was done in 1805.
That's an embroidery, yeah?
That's all embroidered.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And look at how it has survived.
And done well
Yeah.
to the detail.
And that was folded up. You can see the marks where it was folded. And Bronwyn Mutton is the lady who gave it to us. She found it among her father's papers after he died. So the fact that the family had come from Mountmellick, they contacted us and asked us would we like them. This one came from a different branch of the family who were back visiting. Saw the first sampler and then donated the second one.
Okay. Wow.
They would have been embroidered with silk thread, so they've survived.
Yeah, it's special, isn't it?
Silk, yeah,
Yeah.
silk. It's a natural.
Yeah.
The one on the right was done nearly 100 years later with a different thread
Okay.
and hasn't survived as well.
That's why, yeah. But that's not silk.
Of England. It's not silk.
So, yeah, you can see a bit of cotton there.
So it has worn. That was made in 1898.
Yeah. But you wouldn't know when you're looking at it that it hasn't survived, actually. Unless an expert like you will say, but me, I will be like, it's still okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's very fascinating.